Guess we'll find out any minute now.
I'm gonna say...
Jazz and Leon.
Jasmine, Leon, your work of art didn't work for us. It's time for you to go.
Thank you.
It was down to me and Leon at the end.
Why didn't they like it?
I don't think they thought it was pop enough. I was lucky to avoid the double elimination in the pop art challenge.
Dusty, you're safe.
I've got to get back on track. I don't want to let my family down.
How did it feel getting all that smoke blown off your ass, Mr. Winner?
No, it feels good.
Young, you made a true work of art.
I'm excited I won, finally. It's pretty insane that my piece is going to be featured in Entertainment Weekly, but I didn't get immunity. And I'm just nervous because everyone is bringing it in this competition.
They said that they were really disappointed in me.
Oh, because they had such high hopes for their golden girl. We have to cross the names off the list now. Jasmine, you were a good one. Okay, a moment of silence for Leon. Bye, buddy.
That's right.
And then there were 10.
10 artists remain to compete for a solo show at the world-famous Brooklyn Museum, a cover story in Blue Canvas magazine, and $100,000 furnished by the 2012 Fiat 500. This is Work of Art, the next great artist.
No, actually, it just makes me feel the pressure even more.
The feeling of almost winning, it's a fleeting moment. Yes, I did a piece that was strong enough to get me there and everything. That's awesome, but the mystery of the next challenge is always looming.
New challenge, new day. New winner, new loser.
I knew it.
What the hell?
There's this little girl at my desk, just sitting there drawing, waiting for me. I'm the suck lord. You want me to write it down for you? I'm not used to being around kids. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone. Here, I got a few things down here if you want to rummage through some of my stuff.
It's a what? Oh my gosh, dangerous.
I was like, what? They're giving us kids? Like, are you allowed to, like, pat the kid on the shoulder? Like, what can you do with this kid? You want to draw together? Or not really?
I'm a teacher. I teach 5th grade art.
Have you ever heard of something called the exquisite corpse?
Okay, so then why'd you go like this when I said tickler?
I like kids, but I'm hoping I don't have to draw with them. I mean, they draw better than me.
Darn kids, draw too darn good.
Morning, everyone. Can I have the entire class come a bit closer? Help me tell you about your next challenge. I asked a friend of mine to join me.
Oh my God, Sarah Jessica Parker. It's like having your fairy art mother in the studio. I couldn't be more thrilled. We're all so excited.
Hello, artists of all ages and sizes.
These amazing children are New York City public school students who participate in Studio in a School, which is an arts program that has brought arts education to hundreds of thousands of children.
The Studio in a School program is fantastic. I've dedicated my life to promoting art in school, so I'm glad I can be involved.
Each student has brought with them one of their recently created masterpieces. For your challenge, we want you to make a piece that complements and relates to the work of art brought in by your student. We should be able to look at the two pieces and visually see a connection.
So now it's my turn to say something that I have always wanted to say. You have until midnight tonight. And and only a few hours tomorrow to complete your pieces. I have the pleasure of joining the judges, and I'm really, really excited to see the work that you do.
Before we go, we'd like to talk to you guys and find out more about your work.
That's mine. Hi, I'm Sarah Jessica.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Zelda.
Hi, Zelda. Is this yours?
Yep, that's ours.
No way.
That's why, basically, you can take words that you love and you can make your own thing out of it.
Is there one favorite word here?
Chocolate!
Oh, yeah.
We glued it together, and then I just cut it out.
Kay's piece has a lot to do with positive and negative space, and he cut away parts of this black rectangle, and they look like doors that are opening and closing. I think we got a good starting point.
That's nice.
It was in this other gallery.
It's already been in another gallery?
Yeah.
Oh. Why? Well, I see you're an old hand at this.
Starting your resume early.
Early.
I do a cat catching a fish.
It's really incredible.
I know, it is really nice.
You have your work cut out for you.
I went to the library. I listened to the first Harry Potter, so I wanted to draw the big balloon.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm starting to realize that, wow, you know, I like this kid, Rainey. She was telling me about when their parents got married, they had the Han Solo and the Princess Leia on top of the cake. Do you want Wookiees in there?
Yeah, Wookiee.
Okay. She's just like me in a lot of ways. She's a little supervillain. How about Jar Jar Binks? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have your attention.
Just want to tell you that this is incredibly inspiring to see. I'm very, very much looking forward to the gallery show.
You have 30 minutes left to plan before you go shopping at Utrecht Art Supplies. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Have fun.
Let's get to work.
Maybe I can do something more abstract that matches your style, but still puts my own spin on it.
Actually, yeah, put your own spin on it.
Tell me about this guy.
See, this is a broccoli and
What's that guy?
a seed.
Let me get a picture of your eye.
What do you think is the best idea? Like, no. You don't know?
Oh no. I'm doomed. It's shining, right? Like
Yeah,
this is like the rays. What's this thing?
Drawing pictures of carrots.
Ilana's piece is a carrot on the beach. And I immediately think, is there anything else around this farm?
A fence.
A fence.
Yeah.
Interesting. What am I supposed to do with just a carrot on the beach? I have nothing. I'm totally screwed. What is outside around this carrot?
This is about a girl that ate everything. Do you think she falls asleep, but she's really like dead?
Okay.
She ate them alive.
She ate-
They're alive in her body.
Oh, finally. The floodgates like open. I was like, thank God.
Pretend that she has everything in her hand.
Okay.
So she gets only one bite.
Oh my gosh, okay. I think her story is amazing. For the first time in this competition, I am ecstatic to do a drawing because that's one of my strengths as an artist. Perfect. Thank you.
Wish me good luck.
It's nice meeting you, Gabriel. Bye.
I'll see you tomorrow.
So exciting.
I got a good kid.
Josie's drawing with crayons, so I'm kind of looking for things that I used as a kid. I grew up around a lot of artists, and my mother dated Al Pacino for about 10 years, so of course I was drawn to being an artist. Fighting for my life, I gotta stay in character.
One piece that's cut. Kyle gave me a still life with vegetables, and I have this idea to make the word grow out of concrete. And then the fast setting takes how long?
Fast setting is going to be like 20 minutes or something at the most.
When I was a kid, I was jumping on top of rooftops and down train tunnels, writing my name on anything I could find and getting caught. But all that graffiti I did actually got me a scholarship to go to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Don't let that little girl down.
I'm not going to.
I hope not.
I hope not too. I'll feel like the piece is a success if she's happy with it.
Yeah. While we're shopping, Sucklord is getting really choked up. It's really kind of cute.
We You know, she put herself into that painting. Now it's my job to take that painting and make it into something meaningful.
You'll be good, man.
Normally, I don't get a chance to be around children, but when I do get around them, it makes me a little soft. Big deal.
Coming up on Work of Art.
Oh my.
Everyone's having a good time, but I've been trying to create this piece based on my own childhood, and I can't get the word divorce out of my own head.
Can you imagine doing something like this when you were a kid? Like visiting artists in their studios? It was so fun to have the little kids running around, and I really love the piece that Marlo has brought in. I was always crafting as a kid. I think I had these goofy little craft books checked out from the library continuously. I did every project in those books, and I think it's going to help with my project. My idea is actually to create a shadow box and include several of the shapes from Marlo's drawing in my piece.
My idea is to make this portrait piece. It's a big black rectangle, which is similar to what Kay brought in. And mine's gonna have all these random door openings. And every time you open a piece, it reveals some information about Kay. Working with kids is something I do every day. So obviously I wanna win this challenge.
By Tay.
Yes.
How you feel?
All right, just have to get a lot of it set up. Isabella and Leora. Their piece has a bunch of flowers growing, and there's butterflies on the top. For my piece, I'm thinking motion, stop animation. I want to bring their still images to life. Excellent.
How do you like what you're doing?
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying too hard. I'm just not being loose about it at all. Josie's piece is not the most elaborate drawing to start with. I'm not really inspired by it.
I don't know what to do.
I'm hoping that as I go along, I'll start to like it more than I do. I don't know.
Gabriel made an animal mobile with this cutout of an owl. My idea for the piece is to create a self-portrait as sort of this bird creature covered in these paper feathers, and I thought it would be interesting to have myself in flight like a bird.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Really?
Young is suddenly in his underwear and like leaping off of the stage. He says he's going to be a Birdman, which I'm like, okay, yes, of course you clearly are.
That's dope, dude.
Tell me if you think this is clever.
Dude, it's looking really, really
for
dope.
the branches.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
For my piece, I'm gonna make a sculptural representation of Rainey's tree painting. What I'm really going for is trying to create a secret world that only kids are aware of. I wasn't the Suck Lord when I was a kid. I was just Morgan Phillips. I started doing artwork from a very young age. My father was a woodworker, cabinet maker. I was always trying to make my own Star Wars figures, and 30 years later, I finally nailed it.
These will actually be buildings, and then they'll be growing on top of them.
Are you gonna like seal this somehow?
Yeah, this will all be drilled
gonna
in.
pour out.
My piece connects to Kyle's piece in more of a conceptual way. It's about growing in the city and growing from concrete. I don't work with concrete and I don't work with molds, but I'm happy I'm taking risks, and I think it's gonna be pretty badass.
These guys are gonna be swans, or like geese. They're like coming out of this like foliage. John made pieces about eyes. So I'm gonna be doing a sculpture that has all of these geese, and they have all pecked each other's eyes out and they're bleeding.
The kid's grandfather lost his eye from a goose?
No.
Michelle has darkness and violence in her work. I mean, it's in every piece, and that's not gonna work for this challenge. Well, she said she died.
Yeah, she's the one that said she died. So yeah, it's not me that made up that story. My idea for my piece today is to do a drawing honoring Alana's story about a girl that has passed away because she ate too much. Working with Alana's piece, I don't know, it just reminds me of the things I was experiencing when I was younger. Being a first-generation Iranian American, growing up in Durham, North Carolina, I was treated like an outsider. That's when I discovered art and always made me feel better.
My sister would be in the bathroom and like, I would have to use the bathroom too. And she'd be like, go in the bathtub. And I would be like, okay. And I just go.
Everyone's really excited and they're having a good time, but I'm having a hard time with this challenge. Zelda's piece, the words are really fun and playful. And so I was like, well, I'll think of words that meant something to me at age 10. When I was 10, I found out that my mom and my dad were gonna get a divorce, and I found out she had had affairs and that she was pregnant. Oh, I forgot.
So I've been trying to create this piece based on my own childhood, and I'm not liking how it's looking.
Good evening, artists. Let me start my studio visit. Sir Claude, what are you doing?
Well, I had the pleasure of meeting Rainey this morning, who painted this little tree, so I'm rendering it as a sculpture.
I gather that you were not too keen on a challenge involving children.
I mean, normally you would think that I wouldn't be that guy, but I think everybody has certain instinctual, nurturing feelings when they're around children. And so when I saw her sitting there, I immediately sort of, my persona changed a little bit.
Oh, good.
You don't see a disaster in the making here, do you?
I find it too early kind of to visualize how it's going to translate. The danger will be to try and do too much and make something that is not fully convincing. It can go both ways. I mean, it depends on your skill.
All right, well, honestly, I'm going to judge the success of the piece by how much she likes it.
Thank you, Sir Claude.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Dusty, show me which work you were given.
Okay, this was my student's work. His name's Kay. So he made this piece, which is kind of about positive and negative space. And he made these like doors like this. My idea is to do sort of the same thing he did, except I want to actually make them fold in and out like this. So all these pieces will unhinge. And the idea is to reveal things about him. I'm going to kind of make it like a portrait about him.
And so the visual link will start revealing itself once you open the flaps.
Yes.
I think because Kay's work is abstract, you might get away with doing a fairly literal translation.
Well.
Thank you so much, Dusty. Sarah J., so show me, what work were you given this morning?
I was given this print.
Wow, that's beautiful. Who did it?
Zelda. Seeing her as a kid is so beautiful. And so I just sort of thinking of the other side of my childhood memories as a 10-year-old. That's my parents divorced. And so I wanted to pick words and have them on this rice paper.
Seeing Zelda's work has really awakened in you all your memories of your own childhood.
I think the idea is too depressing to do.
I'm a little worried for you. I'm not sure whether this will translate visually as much as it does when you explain it. I don't want the judges to feel that actually Zelda's work was more impressive than the one that you're going to do to complement it. I'm not going to take more of your time.
Thank you, Simone.
I know I should do something else, but I can't get the word divorce out of my own head. It's too deeply ingrained in me.
Coming up on Work of Art.
I feel that the beginning of your drawing is much more childlike than Josie's work. This definitely is not the beginning of a great work of art. Hey, Lola.
Hi, Simone.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Tell me, which work were you given for this challenge?
Josie is 9 years old, and she made this beautiful drawing.
How is Josie's work going to inspire you?
Basically, I'm going to have this big mountain, and it's all going to be filled in using a lot of the same visual elements.
And I see these flowers that you photographed. And in what sense are you going to use those?
I was trying at first to make something really, really colorful and using that as a reference.
Do you know, when I look at this wall, what I like by far the best are your photographs. I feel that the beginning of your drawing is much more childlike than Josie's work. this definitely is not the beginning of a great work of art.
Well, I appreciate your honesty as usual, so.
Good luck. Thank you. Hey, Tuz, how are you?
Simone, how are you?
Excellent.
Good afternoon. I was given this still life by a little man named Kyle. And so I'm gonna pour concrete in here, and I'm gonna make the word grow. There'll be things growing out of it. So it's about growth and children and growing up.
But you're having a pretty urban setting for it, no? I mean, I don't see any urban element in Kyle's work.
The urban set part of it's just like kind of an extra piece of it.
Do you think the judges will see the visual link?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope so for you. I'm a little worried.
Okay.
I wish you good luck, too.
I definitely look to Simone for guidance, but sometimes he's wrong. I think you just have to follow your own personal vision and not get too caught up in what he thinks. All right.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi. John made the paintings of the eyes. And so this piece that I'm doing, this is sort of going to be these geese that have either gotten in a fight or maybe they've been pecking at each other or something, and so they're all missing their eyes. And they're all with blood coming out of the eye sockets. Do you think that's too heavy for, like, a kid?
Well, it certainly sounds heavy, not just for kids. It sounds heavy for anyone. Right now, I feel you're on a completely different track. I find those very strong, precisely because it's just the eyes and nothing else.
Yeah.
And so there's total simplicity.
Yeah.
And I find the track that you've chosen,
not simple.
It's
No.
not simple at all. Anyway, the good news is you have plenty of time to think it over.
Okay. Thank you. From the last challenge, I didn't listen to him and almost got eliminated. I just don't want to make that mistake again.
Artists, can I have all your attention, please? I'm going to auction off the winning piece of this challenge.
Shut your face.
Which means some of the most important collectors of contemporary art worldwide will be exposed to your work. The full proceeds will go to a studio in a school.
Oh, that's great. Yay!
And the winner of this challenge will be given immunity and therefore cannot be eliminated next week. There should be plenty of additional reasons for you to be bold, to be brave, be amazing. Good luck and good night.
Thank you, Simone.
How did your critique with Simone go?
Well, it was generally positive.
Yeah.
But get me thinking that I don't want to just make another piece of kitsch, you know what I mean?
I'm worried for Sucklord. He's still doing his thing, you know, toy art or Sucklord art, and I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for this challenge.
I'm just going to try to make this as rad as I can.
Just wish that, like, one time he could come and say, wow, this is really interesting. Keep going. I'm really glad.
Do you want to get jinxed? If he says it's really interesting, it'll probably jinx you.
Simone thinks that Josie's piece was better than mine, so I start drawing right on the photographs, and I think I go into a more innocent space. I'm not overloading it with conceptual whatever, like some of the other artists.
Simone gave me the worst critique today.
He said, don't scare the children, basically.
That's part of it. Yeah, I took off the geese entirely.
So it's just a big bush?
No, there's a secret surprise underneath. I get rid of the violence and instead create these weird little creatures that are all hair and eyeballs and live underground. I look over and Sarah J's making a piece about divorce and affairs, and I was like, wait, I was worried about geese? Like, my piece is tame.
What I know about myself from past experience is that to make great art, I have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Tackling that really personal subject matter, I refocus and create a word image collage of 3 events from my life when I was 10. The affair, my half-brother, and the divorce.
Okay, time.
9 minutes and 11 seconds.
That was 9 minutes? Oh, okay. It took me 9 minutes to make 10 feathers. And I have like 200, so I'm gonna have to speed it up. Winning the last challenge, I feel like I have to keep upping the ambition of my pieces, otherwise I'm gonna fall to the back.
When I finally finish putting my mold together into letters, I start mixing the concrete.
Mix it a little more.
I'm trying not to be too artsy-fartsy.
This stuff's kind of hard to mix.
So I'm making a piece that's just really simple. It's called Grow, and it just says grow, and it has stuff growing out of it. As long as my concrete sets tonight, then I'll be in good shape.
I don't really, what am I looking at?
I was worried about my piece, but like Lola took a piece with flowers and made more flowers, and Young is covering himself with feathers. I think I definitely have an advantage.
You're so gay. You're like, shut up, leave me alone.
Twos has a lot of opinions of other people's projects, and I just feel like he should be worrying about his own artwork.
And what, this is her piece?
15 minutes, everybody.
Time is just flying by.
Yes, I almost broke this thing. I'm really nervous that if I fail, Rainy's gonna feel like she failed. God, I hope I can finish it.
All right, guys, come on, let's go.
I think it's awesome that everyone worked so hard today. Everyone was super focused.
I think the kids actually were inspirational.
I agree.
It's great to be working with kids. Actually, I'm the oldest of my siblings, and we're significantly apart in age. So, you know, when my brother and my sisters were little, I used to take care of them and change their diapers. So I don't want to let them down. I want to win this competition.
Yeah, you're suspiciously quiet over there.
I've never seen the sucklord this quiet.
I don't want this girl to show up tomorrow and see a stinking turd sitting on the table.
Well, your first mistake was guaranteeing a kid that you were going to do something.
How could I say no?
Never do that.
See her face? How can I say no to that?
It was pretty
That's how kids get you, son. They give you that cute
Well, I
little
guess
face.
I got
You're
it.
like, oh, yeah. Becky, I'll get you a pony for Christmas. Then November comes around, you're like, how the am I?
How could I say no?
Never do that.
Get back in the studio. The first thing I do is see if my letters have set.
Not.
All of them have set except for the W, so I have to pull all that concrete out and re-pour. I'm just worried that it's not gonna get done in time.
Do you think that the carrot should be a little more yellow to like emphasize? No, it's enough. I feel really good about my piece. And to have my piece auctioned off by Simone and have the proceeds go to Studio in a School, I would be super ecstatic.
10 minutes!
It looks pretty bad. This doesn't look like what I want it to look like. I wanted to do like at least 3 coats of paint, so I just tried to do all 3 colors at once, and it just looks like a disgusting brown turd just sitting there, and it's just like, slap it on.
Oh yeah, it looks good.
Artists, your time is up.
It's so ugly.
Collect your works and come with me.
I barely get it done, and I'm not happy with it. But I'm just gonna have to man up, face Rainey, and show her the piece.
Coming up on Work of Art.
I think this is a badass piece.
I like the kid's piece better. If I see it again, I'm gonna get medieval on you.
I would have probably hung out with a few of my fellow artists as kids.
Bayate was probably pretty sassy at 10 or 11, saying why all the time. Why?
Why? Young was like a very theatrical kid.
Oh, look at all your toys. I love your Jabba the Hutt.
Sucklord hasn't changed a bit since he's 8 years old.
This you can't have all day. We get to play with clay, crayons, paints, computers. I feel like I'm in a kindergarten class.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Well, please welcome back our judges. Critic Jerry Saltz.
Hi.
Gallery owner Bill Powers.
Hey, guys.
And our guest judge this week, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Good evening. Hi.
This week, we asked you each to create a companion piece that complements and relates to the pieces of art made by the children from Studio in the School. Let's open the gallery and see how you did.
I made you a little garden.
I think it's a pretty good piece of art.
Nice to see you, buddy. Do you like it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I will say that this is pretty arresting.
I think the strength of my art is how it connects with the kids' piece and plays with it in a very straightforward and simple way.
I think I could have done a little bit more with it, but if you like it, I'm happy.
I do like it.
She says, I love it. Thank God for kids. You know, they're so uncritical. And then at that point, I was like, I already won.
I think it's really cool.
Oh, thanks. I think your piece is really cool, too. Everything in Marlowe's piece seems like it's floating. My piece actually reflects that.
This is something where I see the connection very clearly.
You know what an affair is?
Realizing I just turned this art piece into my childhood experience, and I didn't really incorporate Zelda into it. Just worrying about having to face the judges.
Can I ask how this relates?
Maybe this happened at the age that Zelda is.
Is she alive?
No,
She's dead.
Yeah, because she ate all that, and you know that can hurt your body.
It's basically the before and after picture. She ate all these other things, but it's just that last little bit of carrot that kills her. It's not a direct, quick read, but I did that on purpose.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Now you guys get to be tortured.
I know.
Kyle gave me a piece with dead vegetables. So my piece is about growth. I think it's really poetic because it's like nature growing in the city.
I have no idea what the judges are going to say about the piece. I think it really complements Josie's piece, which is a part of the challenge. So there's a part of me that thinks maybe I could do really well.
I have to say that the work of art is a bit blah.
I'm missing my baby so bad. It's killing me. She's adorable.
It's like an advent calendar almost,
Great.
right?
An advent calendar, yeah.
I think the people in the gallery today really are getting a kick out of being able to interact with my piece, being able to touch it, open it, and close it.
Here's Kay's eye.
And you put my braces.
The greatest smile. Does it make you feel good to be part of his?
Yeah. And I like the eyes.
What a strange object.
I'm so glad that I didn't do this violent piece, and I'm so glad that it's working well with the children. They're all like, I love it.
They look like a Muppet.
Yeah, they do. You know what? The movement is making me laugh.
There's a visual connection between my piece and Gabriel's work because the colors are lifted directly from his work.
I can so picture Jan going like that. Right?
Yeah.
It's been really, truly inspiring, and I think for the artists as well, the bigger, grown-up, more older artists.
You got a lot of talent, and you're going to do well.
Thank you guys for a very playful show. Some of you created pieces that were a beautiful addition to the children's work, while others needed to go back to school. The winning artist will have their work auctioned off by Simon, and all the proceeds of the sale will go to Studio in a School. And one of you will be going home. We would like to speak to the following artists for the crit. Sucklord, Twos, Sarah Jimenez, Kimia, Dusty. If I didn't call your name, you are safe. Say goodnight to your peers. Dusty, you had one of our favorite pieces in the show, let's start with you.
It's kind of a portrait of somebody that I don't know that I'm first meeting. So the act of opening these pieces is kind of like the exact steps I went through in meeting him.
And you use the word portrait with this piece, but to me it's almost like a visual biography.
You captured so many of the things that seemed to be important to him and honored this very sophisticated piece of artwork. I just think it's a very successful piece.
Thank you, Dusty.
Thank you.
Our other favorite piece of the night was Kimia's.
Thank you.
Let's start your crit. How is it working with Alana for this challenge?
She was amazing. I asked her, what else would I see? If you took the piece and we actually moved it a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, and she was like, oh, there's a dead girl. And I was like, you okay? How did she die? And then she said, well, she ate the house, she ate the dog, she ate the birds. And then she said, but what killed her was she ate the piece of the carrot.
It was just really, really smart of you to ask her to elaborate. It really did lead to this really beautiful drawing.
Kimia, your technique is impeccable. And it was very brave of you to just have that little reference to Alana's original work. That was a big risk.
Thank you very much.
You can join Dusty.
Thank you.
One of you will be the winner of this challenge. Congratulations. Kimia, you made a true work of art.
I'm just super, 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 super happy because I just know that Simone is going to get to auction off my piece and I have immunity, so I feel good.
Kimia, you brought your skill set to give it something that was mysterious enough that it takes on a life of its own. Good job.
Thank you. You can both head up to the studio. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The three of you had the least successful work in tonight's show. One of you will be going home. Sarah, let's start with you.
Zelda. She told me that she chose words or images that she really liked, but I couldn't help thinking about, like, where I was when I was 10. And so... I'm afraid that, like, I didn't do her justice or something.
Let's just talk about stylistically, and let's not get into the content.
Okay.
Clearly, you had an emotional connection with Zelda, but the visual connection between the two pieces, it doesn't feel as connected as it needs to be.
She handed you such an interesting thing with scale, and you really have a feel for scale, and instead you went into story.
What I wish you'd been able to do is maybe show the girl you wish you could have been.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
The next artist up for elimination is Sucklord.
This is the secret tree. There's this whole other naturalistic, fantastical little world that only children can see.
It's a nice idea to create these little worlds, but once we get to the little worlds, you didn't create anything. You just put other people's worlds in those little nooks and crannies.
My only goal is to have something that blew her mind. And she said, I love it. So it's like, even if I go home, the piece is a grand slam because she loved it.
I think you clearly have this amazing, wonderful imagination, but you don't take them far enough.
Let go a little and create your own world. Stop the Star Wars. If you manage to survive and I ever see it again anywhere, I'm going to get medieval on you.
Duly noted, sir. Thank you.
The next artist up for elimination is Twos.
I had Kyle. All these kids live in the city, and I was thinking about growing food in the city. So I made this piece called Grow, which would be the garden that he would get his food from.
There's a lot of color in Kyle's drawing, and I wish that maybe we'd gotten a little bit more of your color.
In my opinion, there's nothing personal in it.
It has a little bit of like a PSA quality to it.
I think this is a badass piece. We allowed ourselves to be opened by these kids, and all our hard exterior crap broke open, and the promise of this future thing came through. And if that's a little bit too abstract or literal or preachy or PSA, I don't really give a f. I think this thing has balls, and I see this guy written all over it, and I'm standing by this piece. That shit rocks.
It doesn't necessarily look exactly like this, but
it doesn't look anything like that.
I wouldn't know how else to.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you wouldn't know how else to interpret it, and that troubles me a lot.
Thank you all very much. You have given us a lot to think about. Please head up to the studio, and we'll call you back shortly.
Anyone want a drink?
I was like out of control.
You're a beautiful person, and I love you. Thank you. I took one seed in his dead vegetables, and I made them grow so they could make more vegetables. If they can't see the beauty in that, then them.
The three artists that are up for elimination really missed the mark tonight.
So there's the crime of the imagination, the crime of the disconnect, and the crime of caring too much.
What is the greater crime?
Tuz's piece seemed like it could have gone with maybe 5 different artworks in here.
Yeah.
You know, he confessed. You know, he's like, it's a still life of a vegetable, and, you know, what can you do? I mean...
He needs to unstunt his imagination.
I felt like Sarah's piece was too spelled out for us. There was no mystery. There was no room for us to ponder it.
She went so deep into her own story that she didn't link up to Zelda's art.
She moved me. I felt for her, but her work didn't.
Sucklord was so concerned about honoring Rainey that he didn't allow himself to be in the piece at all.
If there was some content in there, the skill set is kind of interesting.
I think if Sucklord had sort of no blueprint, he would be surprised to discover what he might be able to do.
We've made our decision. Yes. Let's bring them back in. Is what works, and none of your pieces did.
Sucklord, your piece collapsed into a piece of generic sculpture with no imagination, and I'm just not sure there's any inner Sucklord there to find.
Sarah, we asked you to make a work that connected with your child. Unfortunately, you made a piece that was all about you.
Tuz, for a piece about growth, it felt pretty stunted and wilted.
Sarah, Tuz, Sucklord, one of you will be leaving us tonight. Tuz, your work of art didn't work for us. It's time for you to go.
Thanks a lot, man. I told you. Bye. Thanks a lot. It's really disappointing to find out that I'm the one that's going home because there's so many other things that I can do. I'm gone. Come on. Oh. I'm gonna continue to do my thing regardless of what anybody says about my artwork. So when you're walking around, keep your eyes peeled because chances are you'll see my art on the street right next to you.
Next on Work of Art. Welcome to the New York Times.
Get your papers.
Does anybody give a we change our headline?
That's like changing the rules.
That's so incredibly petty and lame.
It won't go anywhere.
It's gonna crack this plaster. Mercy.
What did I do?
And I wasn't interested, really, in trying to figure that out.
I just think this is utterly predictable.
I was pulled apart and left with nothing.
Go to bravotv.com/workofart for info on how to own a print from your favorite artist.